trying to mute that I'm not being successful.
Right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I love numerology, astrology, anything metaphysical, quantum physics, and I feel like I'm in the right place. So I started with numerology many, many years ago. I don't even know what year it was. I meant to go back and look, but I had a reading from a channel, and they said, Tracy, you might want to check out numerology. It'll be good for your mind. And so then I found a class, a couple classes, a great teacher, and I just ate it up, and it just came very, very easily to me. And I've taken a number of astrology classes, and to me, it takes years to become a good astrologer because there's so much to it. And there's a lot to numerology, but I had to really work at astrology where numerology just kind of seemed to come to me. So, what is numerology? So, I call it the science of numbers. And we can call it a science because something's a science when it's replicable. And anybody can come up with these same answers, right? It's very simple math. Um, it's came from ancient times, back in Egypt and other mystical places from long ago. And it's so amazing. I can't believe it's not mainstream yet, but I guess that's just me. So I always love to be able to talk about it. And I facilitated a group at lunchtime too, and so that was fun. So I'm all warmed up. Um, so there's a couple different numerology styles. I do the more common one. It's Pythagorean numerology, you know, based on Pythagoras way back in ancient times when he had mystery schools. And basically, in numerology, or numerologists add up things and reduce them. And that goes to the numbers 1 through 9. And I'm going to teach you about those numbers this evening. And then we have master energy, which is 11, 22, 33. I'm not going to go into that this evening, but those are also numbers that we look at. And so basically, we get our numerology chart from a person's birth date and name at birth, so the birth certificate name. And then when somebody changes their name on their own or gets married and takes their husband's name, it's like a new layer that comes and lays on top, but the birth certificate name energy stays there as well. And in numerology, there's 5 core numbers. And when I do a reading, I make up a PowerPoint. Well, I do some readings in person, and then I use these numerology cards, which I'm going to show you. And then when I do an online reading, I put together a PowerPoint and we go over numbers in a little bit more detail. And so I thought that we might, well, let me go through the 5 core numbers just real quick. And then I'm going to do something that we can involve all of us. So the 5 core numbers are the life path number, and that comes from the full date of birth. And that's our natural talents and abilities coming into this lifetime. And then we have what's called a destiny number. Sometimes it's called an expression number or a destiny number. And that helps us decide, it helps give us information on like what we're here for. And then we have a heart's desire number, what nourishes your soul. And the destiny number comes from the birth certificate name, as does um, the soul number. And then we have a personality number that also comes from the name. And then the day of birth is the 5th core number, and that's your gifts that you have to offer to the world. So what I thought we would do, it's kind of a fun exercise. Everybody has a personal year number, and the personal years run from January to December, and we reduce it based on your birth, some information in your birth date. And then these personal year numbers run consecutively 1 through 9. I'm going to explain in a metaphor what those mean. But I thought what we could do is have everybody figure their personal year, and it's super, super easy. And what's interesting about the year 2025 is that's like the universal number. So 2025, 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. And so normally to find your personal year, you take your month of birth, your day of birth, and add the year. However, this year, all year long, it's so much easier to find your personal year because any number that you add to the number 9 and then reduce it down is always going to be that number you added to it. So we can just throw out the 9 in 2025. And that's why as numerologists, sometimes we can come up with numbers super fast. Like in a year, say somebody was born in 1999, I can throw out all those nines because I know that it's a 1 year. When I add up 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, just how the math works with the 9 energy. So anyway, all we need to do to find your personal year is take your month. And if you're born in November, you can do 1 plus 1, you can say it's a 2. Or if you're born in December, 1 plus 2 is 3. So just come up with a single digit for your month. And then we're going to come up with a single digit for your day. So if you're born on the 13th, it'll be 1 plus 3 is 4. And then we're simply going to add the month number to the day number and then reduce it if necessary by adding those two numbers together. Does anybody need any help with that or have any questions with that? Pretty simple, right? So that is your personal year number from January to December this year. So I'm going to go through like a little metaphor of personal years. And again, I said that they run in consecutive years, 1 through 9. So I like the metaphor of a garden for personal years. And then I'm going to go through what the numbers mean just briefly. So a one personal year is all about new beginnings. So if we use a garden, it's like planting seeds for what you'll be working on for the next 9 years. And it's the number one, let's see if this will work here. I don't know. Number one is all about ideas, courage, independence, determination, and leadership. And we always look at the shape of the one. So the one is like you, it's like a person just standing there. All about you is the number one. So if somebody's in a one personal year, you just started a brand new 9 year cycle this past January, and you're planting seeds for what will continue to go on. You might need to be more independent this year. Maybe you step into to a leadership role. Maybe some great ideas come through. So those are things that can happen in a 1 year. The 2 year, um, the shape of the two is kind of looking back at the one. It's all about peace, or cooperation, helping others. It's like the peacemaker, and this 2 year is all about patience and cooperation. It's also very intuitive, highly sensitive number, and the 2 year is about patience in the garden because the seeds are under the ground there, and you think, what's happening? Nothing's happening, but there's magic going on underneath between the seeds and the soil and whatnot. So yeah, so it might be a more sensitive year and a needing a year of patience. Then this is what I have for that. It's like insight, peace, peacemaker. And then the three are these, I guess these are backwards. Are the letters backwards? I guess they are, huh? So the number three in a personal year, it's all about self-expression. So in the meeting I had earlier at lunchtime, somebody's spouse was in a 3 year, And he was just busy redoing the whole house and the whole yard. It was like his self-expression to what he was changing. So the number three is about also being social. It's the humor number, being optimistic, inspiring. It's a good number for writing. And it also, somebody might be, yeah, more social, have a lot more events to go to in a 3 year. And the three is shaped like looking back at the two and the one. So it's like, come on, let's get together. Let's have a party. And it's a good communication number. And then if somebody's in a 4 year, the four is the only other number that's all straight lines other than the one when we look at the numbers 1 through 9. And that is being practical and grounded and doing the work. It's a year of work. Also, earth energy, it's like self-discipline. And then the five is the shape of, I always think of the five as a cartoon character. It's all about change, adventure, travel, and freedom. And it's headed out. Pshum, let's go. Let's go have fun. Let's go have a party. Let's go sightsee. Or things could be changing in the life. I have a friend who um, just retired in January and she's in a 5 year. So change adventure, and she doesn't call it being retired, she calls it being liberated. So it's like we intuitively know what to do in our personal years. And then the six energy or the six number is shaped like a pregnant woman, and that's home and family, it's responsibility, it's nurturing, also artistic. Uh, so a person in a 6 year might want to stay home more, might be somebody having a child, getting married, getting divorced, buying a home, selling a home, um, anything to do around that theme. Or, needing to take care of somebody in the family or being around family a lot. I had somebody, I gave a reading quite a long time ago, and somebody was in a six personal year, and I'm like, well, what's going on with your family? And she said, nothing. I got married last year. Everything's good. Really nothing. So we continued on with the reading. I said, well, what do you do for a living? She goes, oh, I just got a job on a TV show for single unwed mothers. So that was all around, home and family, but it wasn't her family. It was other people's family. And then the seven is the mystic. It's the thinker, intelligence, knowledge. Um, and so the shape of the seven is from like heaven to earth. A lot of people with seven energy love like science, religion, spirituality, metaphysics, quantum physics. So this is a year to go within, a good year to teach or to take classes. But the thing about a 7 year is the universe wants you to go within, like writing, meditation, journaling, kind of go in, contemplating your life. Um, and um, so what I've seen in a 7 year, like if somebody's used to running 5 miles a day then in your 7 years, just stick to 5 years. Stick whatever you normally do. If you up it to like 8 miles a day or something, you might they might you might be put down to in the bed. I saw this in a coworker once, and she was out riding her bike, and her husband was lapping her, and she was very competitive. So she put her head down and she went full speed ahead, but forgot it was garbage day and ran right into a garbage bin and broke her shoulder. And so I looked at her number, she was in a 7 year. So it's fine to do what you've always done. There's no fear or anything. It's just uh, maybe take it easy and not go above and beyond. And then I realized I got off my analogy of the garden. So let me just quickly go back. In the 3 year, you're seeing the sprouts come up. In the 4 year, the garden's coming up more. You have to water, you have to weed, you have to do the work to take care of the garden, which is in the metaphor, it's you yourself. taking care of you, what you need, um, and doing the work um, in your life. And then a 5 year, it's almost like in a 5 year, you're seeing all the changes in the garden, right? And you're like, wow, I remember planting that. So it's about, change. And then in a 6 year, really taking care of doing the weeding, um, being responsible for your garden or yourself, right? And sixes and the six energy typically take care of everyone else before themselves. And we know that's not a good idea. So there might be lessons around that. And then in the 7 year, um, I would say that like a lot of meditation or writing in the garden, right? In the metaphorical garden. And then the 8 year is all about money, power, and abundance. And by power, I mean standing in your own power. And this is the harvest. So this is when you're getting the fruit, when your flowers are blooming. So when you're in an 8 year, you kind of can see how you're doing in life based on how did you take care of your garden? How did you take care of yourself all of these years? Um, and make some course corrections. And an 8 year, the eight is like executive energy. So in an 8 year, it's amazing to write down your goals or your intentions and track those as you go. It's a more ambitious energy. Um, think Martha Stewart has a lot of eights in her core numbers. A lot of people with a lot of eight energy in their core numbers are so incredibly ambitious, but their blind spot is thinking that everybody else should be like that as well. So I've seen that by quite a few people. I'm like, oh, they don't have that eight energy. Let them rest. And then if you're in a nine personal year, the shape of the nine is like carrying the weight of the world on the shoulder, but it's not meant for that. So it's a humanitarian number, very intuitive, compassionate. It's the healer number. So a lot of healers or people like Whitney Houston and Prince had a lot of nine energy. So I think they carried, and it can be a very empathic number. They carried the weight of the world on their shoulders instead of with the nine energy. The lesson is give others the space to learn their own lessons and then hold space for them as they're learning their lessons. So that's the 1 through 9. And then after that, it starts a whole new 9 year cycle. Oh, and so in the 9 year, it's all about endings, completions. It's about clearing out the garden because the harvest year was the 8. And then planning for the next year, planning for your garden. What are you going to put in it? That type of thing. So releasing anything that no longer serves you in your life, decluttering your thoughts and emotions that no longer serve or your house, or you might see an ending and completion, like leaving, finishing up a job or something like that. Does anybody have any questions?
I'd like to
Anybody want to
hear more
share
about,
anything? Mhm.
I'd like to hear more about two, because I'm trying to figure out how that,
Oh,
what,
are you in a 2 year?
yeah, because 11 9 reduces to two, right?
11 and 9.
No, wait, I can't do math.
Well, the 11, you're born in November,
Yeah,
so you can just reduce that to a 2.
yes.
And so you're in
And, and
a
then,
9. Um,
so 9 and 2 goes
yeah,
back to
yeah.
11, back to
You're
two.
in a 2 year.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes. Yeah, and actually, um, I mean, 11 is a master energy, so we don't really have to reduce that. So if we go 11 plus 9, we get a 20, and the 20 energy is so incredibly intuitive. So you might, I don't know if you're feeling more intuitive this year or if you're feeling more sensitive. Is there a theme around patience for you?
I don't-
Needing to be patient.
Yeah, well, I
It could
have
be a,
it.
pardon?
I have been, but I think that part is now going on.
Right, right. Patient as you move through everything you're going through. And it also can be about relationships as well, the number two. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. And kind of being cooperative with people this year.
Susan has a hand up.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. That was really interesting. Thank you very much, Tracy. My question is, the personal number that we just went through and figured out, is
Personal
that
year.
just for this year or is it for our lifetime?
No, that's just for this year,
Yeah,
January
that's what
through
I thought.
December.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Dave was next, and then Linda, and then Marcia.
Okay, thanks. You mentioned the number 11, and just as a matter of interest, well, I like some clarity really. My month is the 11th month.
Okay.
Birth date is the 29th, which obviously comes to 11. Could you say anything about, say 2 11s?
Yes, I will. Yeah. I wasn't going to go into that, but I think we should. So the master energy is 11, 22, and 33. So when somebody's born on, did you say the 29th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also born on a 29th of a
Ah.
month. So I have that 11 as well. So really what you do in numerology is you stop at the 11. 2 plus 9 is 11. And then you've got a month 11 as well. So basically you would be in a 22 year. And we can reduce that down. So what I see, what we write in numerology is like 22/4, because the 2 and 2 equals the 4. And so you have two separate levels of energy, and I see it as a musical scale. You have the lower note, that's the 4, and then you have the upper note, which is the 22. And so you have two twos, so it's going to be a lot of uh, sensitivity in a 2 year, to be more intuitive. And the 22, I have that, is the master builder.
Ah.
Yeah. And it's big ideas, self-confidence, dreams into reality. So does that is that fitting into your life at all with the master building energy?
Yeah. Definitely.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can
Quite-
basically be in the higher octave with the 22, or you can go down to the 4. But they have, there's a lot of qualities, right? Your master building. So, and 4 is about work.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, thank you. When my dad had passed away quite some time before I became a numerologist, but I went back and looked at his chart, and he was a 22 life path, so natural talents and abilities. And he didn't do this for a living, but he had a workshop and he would build a fence over here this year, a fence over here that year. He was building all sorts of things. I'm like, oh, he was a master builder. So I learned a lot about him, more about him by going back and looking at his chart.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank
Yes, thank you.
Hey, Linda.
So you said that, so mine is the month 4
Mhm.
and the day is the 29th. So I
Oh.
added those together, I got 6, and you said that 6 is about family. So this year, my whole family is scattering around the world or scattering around. So I will actually be far away from most of my family. So it didn't, so the 6 didn't speak to me. If I add 4, 2 and 9, and then I get 6.
You mean 4 plus 11? Yeah.
Oh yes, so I
Yeah.
didn't know that. So I'm glad that
So that's a 6. Yeah. That is a 6, right?
yeah.
So it can be about family. So your family's scattering this year. It is about family. It can be about, like a marriage or a divorce, and a divorce is an ending,
Right.
but it's still family, but it's like it's a theme around family, and the theme is your family's scattering.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything extra that makes me feel better about that?
Well, I would say you're still connected to all of them. And is this something that, are these close family members that you're sad they're scattering?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like children and grandchildren. And the rest of my family all live in England.
Okay. What I'm getting is that it's a time for you to give to yourself. And does it make sense? Did you kind of give to them a lot in the past?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Um. Okay. I guess I could look at 11, right?
Yes. Yeah, you're born on the 29th?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The 11 is illumination. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's wise, inspirational, divine feminine, compassion. And yes, you can look at that and taking care of yourself. But what I'm also getting is, isn't it so wonderful in this time that we're living in? We can do Zooms and we can stay in touch, via text.
Right.
In a past life, there might have been something where you went through a very similar situation.
Uh-huh.
I'm getting like a horse and carriage almost. And you didn't hear from them for a long time because you had to wait for their letters. And in this
Right.
lifetime, you get to still connect with them.
Right. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks very much.
Hey, Marcia, you're up next.
Thank you. I am February, which is 2 and an 11.
Oh, so many 11s. There's always a theme with numbers, I'm telling you. All right, so you are in a 4 personal year right now. Is that relating to you at all for work?
I'm retired.
Okay.
But
What are you
now,
working on? What are you working on in retirement?
what about the 11?
So the 11, so you're born on the 11th, so April 11th?
I'm sorry,
So you were born on April 11th?
February.
Oh, February 11th, that's right. Okay. February. So the 11, that's actually your gifts, right? The day that we're born. So
Hmm,
that's your gifts that you have for the world. And are you intuitive? Have you worked on that?
no.
Is that something that you're interested in?
Well, I'm here. So, yes. But I don't know that it relates to me personally. But anyway,
Marcia, you worked at a spiritual center.
I never worked there. I volunteer there.
Oh, well, okay. Okay.
They don't pay me.
So the 11 energy is highly sensitive energy, and it's usually an empathic energy. Do you feel other people's energy? Do you feel highly sensitive?
I don't know. I'll have to be more aware.
Okay. Well, because 211 adds up to a 4, that's a very practical number. So you might see the world in very practical terms. And that's why maybe you approach the illumination practically.
Marcia, you helped me one time get through a very painful event, and you did it with empathy. You were empathic, and you just said the exact right thing, and I'll never forget it. So don't say that you're not that way.
Thank you, babe.
Yeah, that is within you. Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy.
Yes. When I often see the number 11, I see someone carrying a lantern down a pathway, a dark pathway, showing the light to others, showing the way for others.
What a wonderful image. Thank you.
Mhm.
Sounds like the hermit in the tarot.
Mhm.
Pamela has her hand up.
I had to unmute. Well, since we're talking about 11s, I'm also an 11, November 5th, 1942.
Oh my goodness.
You didn't hear me say that last four, right? I'm so
1942.
young.
So yeah, so your month, yeah, is an 11, and yours is Sheila too, right? Boy, the
Yes.
theme tonight is the 11 energy, which is the
And I
illumination.
do get psychic hits a lot.
Oh.
In fact, I mean, I'm serious. I get hit at night, usually when I'm just gone to bed, not quite asleep, but neither am I awake. And I've been popped on the top of my head. There's nothing between the top of my head and the wall except a pillow. The other night I got hit in my arm. Usually it's my ankles. And I was just telling Peg and Sheila, a young woman I've known since she was 6 years old just passed. She was 52. It
Oh,
was
sorry.
very unexpected and very tragic. Anyway, her name was, sorry, her name
That's
was
okay.
Darcy with a capital D, capital A, D
Mm.
apostrophe ARCY.
Mm-hmm.
I had to change an appointment. And I mean, I'm really grieving this young lady.
Of course.
And I called to make this appointment change. And the woman at the medical office that I called, her name was Darcy.
He was saying hello.
Yes, I think so. And I tell my very psychic daughter, and she says, you know, we're going to get these hits all the time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darcy's still in your life, unfortunately not in the physical, but still with you
Yes.
over there.
And if I want to hear from my dad, I'll turn on a radio. And if I hear little Stevie Wonder singing, I Just Called to Say I Love You, that is my dad. He loved that song.
Oh, oh.
And that's definitely my dad singing that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yes, I would appreciate any insight you've got for me.
So, do you have a specific question?
I don't think specific, no, just any insight that will, well, some people know this already. I live in a community of elders like
Mhm.
myself. Oh, there's about 52, 55 of us here in
Wow.
a residence,
Mhm.
each with our own apartment. Um, you know, dining room, activities, facilities, and care and maid service, which I definitely deserve.
Yes, you do.
It's those things. That's where I live.
Okay.
Trying
All
to make
right.
the best of it.
Okay. Are you enjoying it there?
I enjoy the social activity, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, from my calculations, you are in a 7 personal year. Is that what you got as well?
I don't know.
You're 11.5?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. One is 2 and 5 is 7. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can reduce the 11 just to add it up really quick. So 5 plus 2 is 7. Mm-hmm. So in a 7 year, the sevens love privacy. Again, it's a contemplation year. So
Yes.
I have a ton of 7 energy in my chart, and I'm in a 7 personal year. If I didn't have a 3 personality, I would not come out to the world. I would go under my covers and stay under there all the time. But luckily, this 3 personality, and I'm a Gemini, blah, blah, um, but anyway, I could feel this energy coming in, like in December, because I wanted, like, I can be out and be social with people, but I know when I'm done, and I know when I need my privacy. It feels like you're around so many people. Are you taking the time? I mean, are you feeling that you want more privacy this year?
Yes, I have a plan. I usually after dinner I come straight home and I might watch the news, but as soon as that's over, barring tonight, I will hit the shower. That's my nighttime ritual. is shower, wash the day off, hair, roll it up. If anybody comes in my door, they're going to see me sitting here with rollers in my hair.
Yes, yeah.
And
That sounds like such 7 energy, right? You're taking care of
that
yourself.
is my energy.
Yeah.
That's
And
my
around
restorative.
exactly the 7 years restoring ourselves.
Yes.
And the 7, we're so much in our heads, so much going on. That water is amazing for us. And you're taking a shower every night.
Every night.
And you're like getting all the energy, clearing your
You know, from
energy field. Mhm.
top of my head to my toes.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And do you meditate at all?
I'm not very good at that. I try. I'm usually an abject failure at it. But if I chant, I can get through it and I can do very well.
And
I
that is
generally chant
meditation.
in Tibetan.
Wonderful. 7 years, it's amazing to meditate because it's about going within. So I would suggest more of that when you can, when it feels
Okay,
right.
I can do that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Tracy. It's very much appreciated. You know that I'm up here. I know I should chant more and meditate more or meditate. And now I can do it. Knowing it's okay to meditate whilst I'm chanting, then
Absolutely.
that's
Oh,
very good.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever feels good to you. Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What about the rest of you? Oh, Merlene. We'll see what Merlene has to say. Go ahead, Merlene. You have to unmute.
Finally, sorry.
There you go.
Yes. Hi, I'm Marlene. Thank you so much for calling on me. Yeah, Tracy, I missed the beginning where you walked people through how to figure out what your number was.
Okay. It's very, very simple, and we're just doing a personal year number. And this
Yeah.
number runs January through December of this year. And you're just going to take your month that you were born
Yeah.
and your day
June,
that you're born. What month were you born?
June 4th.
June 4th. So you are in a 1 personal year
Oh,
because
good.
June is the 6, plus 4. So what I was explaining is that the numbers run consecutively 1 through 9, and then you start a whole new 9-year cycle. And so this year you have started a whole new 9-year cycle. And so often it can be about new beginnings. It can be about independence, um, getting great ideas this year. I'm in a 7 personal year, and my 1 personal year, I started a new job. Actually, I went to a job I'd been at before, but I had started a new job, and I'm still there. So, yeah, do you have any new beginnings that you've seen this year?
Well, yeah, I'm just coming out of like 4.5 years of grief. And
Mm.
yeah, and I'm changing jobs. So that I should be retired, but the grief made me go back to work because,
Mm.
yeah, and then I'm going to have this new treatment for people who are medication resistant depression. And that's going to start next week. And I'm so hopeful for it to kick me back into the living, because I have been dwelling with, anyways, thank you so
Cool.
much. I appreciate your help.
Yes, sounds like your new beginnings are happening.
Yes,
Hmm. Best to you.
thank you.
Hmm.
Tracy. Chasey. Chasey. Unmute.
Hi, June 24th.
June 24th. So 3 year? Yep. You're in because 6 plus 6 is 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. So you are in a 3 personal year, which is all about the self-expression. It's a great writing number. You can write anytime, but it might be something that that might be of interest. More social. Do you see any of this coming up for you this year?
The writing, yes. The social, no.
Don't want to do that.
Well, I live alone, and
Okay.
my friends are. I'm 86, and my
Mhm.
friends are slowly dying, and
Aw.
Uh-huh.
so I have a more of a sense of isolation now than I used to.
Mhm. Well, I'm so glad you're here with all of us.
Yeah, well, I'm usually here.
Nice. This is a very social event.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. So are you writing this year?
don't embarrass me.
You can't help yourself. You are a writer, a
Ooh.
published writer many times.
Oh,
Hit and miss, yes.
beautiful. Beautiful. Are you called to write more this year?
Um, yeah, but I'm not doing very well at it. But I belong to two or three writers groups that meet one once a month, once every other week. So that activity, the brain activity, is still going. That's the best I can do at this point.
Hmm. So are those online classes?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'm hearing that you're being pretty social online.
yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah,
I probably don't think I've been doing it so long. It feels natural since
exactly.
1971.
Wow, wow. And the 3 year is also about humor. Do you like watch funny shows?
No,
Um, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
no.
No? Is that something of interest to you?
Well, right now I'm stuck with the junk going on and all this stuff with the president and the
Uh-huh.
jobs, and I just want to shake somebody violently.
Yes.
Um,
I think we're all with you on that.
Yes, that's
well, yeah,
very
I'm
understandable.
in other people's business, but I'm not doing very well at handling my own.
Mm-hmm. So, is journaling something that you would are interested in at all?
For some reason, I've never been able to do that religiously.
Okay. Okay. Um, it just sounds like it's a time to go within a little bit more. Um, when the outside world is like nuts, like a lot of swear words, nuts.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
it's so good to find the joy in ourselves, in our own life, in friendships, and the people that we know. Um, to ground our energy. When we ground our energy, um, like like you can even think of standing on barefoot on grass, right? To ground your energy. You could think of like a cord going down into the center of Mother Earth, grounding our energy, because if not, our energy is like at our knees instead of plugged in. It's like we're a lamp, but we're not plugged in. So if we are grounded and plugged in, then the other stuff, not that it's not upsetting and everything, but it might help us become a little bit more grounded and feeling a little more, I guess, in control.
Okay,
Is that helpful at all?
we'll find out.
Okay. Do you have any other questions that I can help
No,
with?
thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome.
Diana was next and then Jennifer. Diana, you can unmute.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Yes.
guys, I'm on my phone and like this is a new nightmare for me.
Oh, yes.
My
It's harder.
computer, I don't know what happened, but I'm 9153, which if I'm calculating that right, that's a one.
It's
And
a
then,
one for your personal year. Yep.
yeah, and then we're back in a 1 year again, if I did the numbers right.
What do you mean we?
Oh, me and all my personalities.
Oh,
My team. All the unseen people that hang with me.
oh, I love it. Yes, yes. You're in a one personal year. You and all your helpers and friends.
Yeah. All my
Yes, this is
good
a
buddies. All the
whole
good
new.
people.
I love
Anyway,
it.
um, so somebody mentioned about well, a couple things on my mind. The biggest one is an inheritance. When you're in a 1 year, I've been waiting, got an envelope in the mail a couple of days ago, thought there'd be a check in it, and there wasn't. There was just an inventory of a sister who paid herself $100,000 to do a proposal on property, which could have been done in a week. But anyway, heartbreaking.
Yes.
But is there a way in numerology to know if an inheritance is actually coming through or if this is just a lost cause?
Hmm. Let's see here. Well, is there more work that you need to do around this, or you're just waiting and it might be gone?
Well, I'm waiting and it might be gone. I keep asking, is it time to hire an attorney? I made a phone call to my sister when I got these papers, and we haven't spoke since the day before Mom passed.
Mm-hmm.
And she just started screaming at me, said I was entitled to nothing, that I wasn't there the last 60 years. Only when I was called, if there was a medical emergency, Mom would call, or if she needed help with something, she would call. But this sister, I guess, has been trying to get her hands on everything forever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like this month for you, it's doing some work around this. And then if I hiring an attorney, that would be next month, if that's what you're feeling called to do.
Oh, interesting, because I made the appointment for May 3rd.
Oh.
But when you say work, what kind of work?
Well, is there any
Besides forgiveness?
legwork? Is there any legwork you can do around it? Talking to other people. So you already found your attorney. Did you find the attorney this month?
Well, a friend of mine just called and gave me an appointment. I have not met this attorney yet.
Okay.
But talking to my sister, all it does is, it was like stirring a hornet's nest,
Of course, you don't want to be stung.
which was really sad, because why can't we have adult conversations?
Yes.
Diana, that's the kind of case that I get in my practice of handwriting examination all the time. It's
Oh,
very
wow.
sadly common. And yes, you must protect yourself
Well, I don't know how to protect myself.
by talking to an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you start.
Yeah, and
Okay.
yeah. And was that like the first available in May?
Right.
Okay. You might call and ask if you can be put on a waiting list and you might get in next month.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's unfortunate, that siblings do these kind of things. And
Yes.
I mean, it's not like it started yesterday. It's like I just woke up to it yesterday, because I didn't believe people were really like this.
They are.
Oh.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Jennifer's next, and then Lauren. We're coming to the end of our hour.
Okay, my personal year is a 9, and it's making sense because there are some things that will be coming to an end. I guess my question is knowing how to proceed, or what's the I don't even know how to say it. How do you know which way to go when something's coming to an end? And usually they say a door shuts and one opens or something. So I'm just kind of curious, when these decisions have to be made, how can I figure out what's next?
So with around the endings,
Yeah.
is this like around a job?
Yes.
Okay. And
Mm.
so are you figuring out which job to look for next?
Um, no, just kind of maybe a life path, maybe not necessarily a job, but maybe even entrepreneurial types of things.
I would say what really interests you, what lights you up, what brings you joy, but I would suggest getting grounded first before you bring that in. The 9 energy is very, very large energy. It contains all the numbers 1 through 8 within it as well. That's why it's the healer number. So getting grounded, um, doing some journaling around it.
Okay.
And when you journal, ask questions.
Okay.
And then see, and then the answers might not even come up to you right then, but it might pop in later in the day.
Okay.
Like, what's my next best move? Or, yeah, what am I so joyful about? Yeah,
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
And Tracy's going to be at the healing portal. Is it this weekend or next?
Yes, Saturday from 1 to 5.
Okay, that's over across from the mall.
Mhm.
Okay, Lauren.
Yeah, my personal number this year is a 2, and
Okay.
but for most of my life, I've had the number 11. Most of my good adult life, since I started making pathway for myself, has been 11 has come up just over and over and over. I'd get assigned a parking space or uh, any kind of thing, and it always boils down to 11. Sometimes it is 11, but it always boils down to 11. And had somebody point this out to me when I was just starting my new pathway. So it's been interesting that that's my number. But the 2, I'm working on that, trying to figure that one out. That's a cooperation type thing, huh?
What what is your day and your month and day?
1019.
10/19. Okay. So 1 and 1. Yep, definitely a 2. Um, so are you feeling like more sensitivity this year or more intuitiveness?
Maybe a lot more intuitive. A lot of psychic stuff is just like boom, opened up, like almost scared me that
Oh,
much.
yeah.
It's been a lot.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
Yeah, and you might have an 11 in your core numbers as well, but I'm getting that this is seeing the 11 like you're getting help from a guide or an angel, maybe possibly an angel. This is somebody coming in to help you when you're seeing these numbers.
Oh, it feels that way.
Pardon?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely feels that
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a big one.
yeah, it is. Illumination. That sounds wonderful.
Can we take one more? I saw Kay's hand was up.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Kay, you unmute.
Yes. Actually, I'm a 7, and so I'm good with what you were saying, Tracy, about 7s. I just kind of wanted to tell Diana that Mercury's in retrograde until
Yeah.
April 7th, and communications can be really screwy, and it's usually more powerful the 2 weeks before the retrograde. So
Oh.
if you got blasted by your sister, this did not surprise me. I have a sister just like you. Not anymore. We divorced years ago, but I know where you're coming from. But I just want to remind you that be patient even after you talk to your attorney, because communications are wacko right now.
And
Mhm.
Venus is in retrograde, which is relationships. Mhm.
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I wanted to put.
Oh, okay. Double whammy.
Egg.
Thank you. Thank you.
You bet.
I'm just popping right in. I am also in 7 this year, but I have a sister like yours. What I had to do finally was just to let it go. And I did. And that was my choice, my decision, and I felt better. Just let it go. You might get there, you might not.
Yeah, my
Well,
sister is mega.
I know your sister.
Yes.
Greg, I know your sister.
This is one of those moments I'm happy I'm an only child.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my sister is MAGA and loving it. So that's,
Oh,
there's certain things you just can't talk about if you want to
yeah,
stay any kind of relationship.
yeah, yeah.
And I have one MAGA daughter and one normal daughter.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have
I
I have a
love them both.
daughter-in-law.
Yeah, I love them both.
Yes.
yeah,
All right. Well, Tracy, thank you.
sure. Can I give my website real